Jakob Rupar. He is a very old friend of mine. I've known him since like third or fourth grade. We grew up in the same neighborhood, went to school together forever. I haven't seen you in years, but a lot of you guys know his younger siblings, Mr. Daniel, who also got his black belt with us and taught a little bit in the school as well, and Miss Sarah Marfoot. So you guys probably remember them. There are probably a couple people on here that remember Mr. Jacob, but I am very proud of him. Since graduating, he graduated from Middleburg High School. He went to University of Central Florida, and why don't you tell them about what you studied? I'll just let you explain that. So
thank you so. Oh, are you there?
Yes,
okay.
Sorry. Okay. Because if you want to tell them what you studied in school at UCF.
Yeah, so like Master Luton was saying, thank you so much for having me, by the way. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I graduated from Middleburg High School. I went to UCF and studied biomedical sciences. And now I work in a research lab here at UCF.
Yeah, and you're managing that research lab, right?
Yes. So yeah, so our lab is researching Huntington disease, and I am the lab manager. So I help kind of direct a lot of the projects that we're doing and kind of assist a lot of people with the different research techniques as they're coming in and everything. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Good. Well, I personally am so proud of you. I know Master Lappin's going to try to hop on in a few minutes too, and she is so excited to see you. And she's so proud of you also. And I know, like I said, there's a few people on here that you'll remember. Hopefully you'll see some familiar faces. But thank you. Seriously, thank you so much for coming on here. I know it was kind of tricky with your schedule and all the craziness that's going on right now. So we really appreciate it. And so with that being said, is there anything that one of the biggest things that we've been talking about lately is leadership. Is there anything that you want to tell these guys about leadership? And being in management, obviously, you know, you're in a position of leadership. So what would you like to share with them? Any advice?
Yeah, so yeah, leadership, I think, is just such like a big collective of so many things. And being a part of leadership, I feel like it's very important to be able to kind of isolate all these different things and really pull all the best parts out of your team that you can. And I feel like the best way to do that for everyone to be successful, and one of the best like attributes is being a good listener. You know, everyone thinks if you're in a leadership role and you're a manager, or, you know, like you are leading a class or something, you have to kind of have all of the answers, and kind of have a plan. And that may be true, but I feel like the way that you get those answers and that you kind of derive that plan is from listening to all of your teammates and your students, your friends, classmates, everything, to kind of get a bigger picture of everything so that you can really be successful and keep your team moving forward. Yeah, I feel like listening is kind of like the best thing that you can do.
Mm-hmm. So we're actually talking about the 7 habits of highly effective people next month. And one of the big things in there is seek first to understand, then be understood. And I think that, like, just with what you were saying, that's such a strong part of leadership. You can't, you know, he talks about synergizing too, and I don't want to reference all these things from that, but you can't get the most out of your team, and you can't help them to be their best if you don't understand what their strengths are, and you're not, you know, listening to everybody, listening to what the problems are, understanding your team and who you're leading. So thank you for that. Okay, my next question for you. How did the Black Belt leadership training at Middleburg Martial Arts help you while you were in school?
So it actually helped me so much. And I would say the biggest thing that I really took away from the leadership training is just confidence. I was always very shy, especially in school. And just getting into martial arts and everything, and then kind of taking that path along the way, it kind of gave me the confidence in myself to know like who I am and what I'm capable of, so that I can kind of take that and move forward and not be scared of failing in a way. So just knowing that I'm confident in who I am and what I'm able to, so that I can get in front of a group of people or even just do something for myself, and just knowing that like I am able to get up and do this thing and give it the very best that I can. Because before, when I was so shy, like I wouldn't even give myself the opportunity. And so I am very grateful for the opportunities that I was able to even just have or be a part of, because of the confidence that I gained from leadership.
Well, thank you for that. And I think that, what you've just in what you've achieved in school, that's a major accomplishment. Most people do not make it through any form of medical school or into any form of medical school because it is such a major goal and it scares people. And I think that what you just said, that confidence of knowing that if I fail, it's going to be okay. And you know your self-worth and you know what you are capable of and what you can achieve. And knowing that I'm sure you didn't make straight A's your entire way through college. I'm sure there were times where you did poorly on a test or whatever happened, but you pick yourself up and you keep going. And that perseverance and that discipline and that confidence, that's huge. So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so Mr. Jacob, how did it help you once you were out of school?
So, actually, kind of what you just touched on too, just like one of your tenets that actually really stuck with me is perseverance. And it's applied to so many things. Like even when you're just like in the studio, and let's say, you're on push up like 45 of 50, and you're just totally like wiped out, and you are just like, I just have to get the end. The end is right there. Like when you get to that point where you're just so absolutely exhausted, but you keep pushing yourself right to your goal, that is applicable to so many things. And so, like you said, like with school, of course, there were times I was like, man, this is really tough, and it can kind of be a little bit draining, but because of that tenet in particular that just really stuck with me, like you just keep pushing through and you hang on, and it really gets you to where you want to be. And it's going to be a very long walk, no matter what it is that you want to do with your life. The goals that you want to achieve are going to take some time, and they're going to take commitment and effort. And just having that perseverance to really push through, I feel like has really helped me to kind of get to this role that I'm in right now. And also within this role, like things are fast paced and moving all the time, and you got to be on your toes and keep working through different solutions. Especially in science and research, you don't always necessarily have all the answers, but that's kind of the exciting part too, is that you kind of get to work through it and figure something out that maybe is something no one's ever known before, and you got to kind of really stick with that.
Well, and I think that going like piggybacking on everything you just said, studying um, neurodegenerative diseases. Did I say that right? I think that with any form of that, though, you have to have so much perseverance because I know I'm a really goal-oriented person, and you're not just, you don't just start working and a month later find a cure for Huntington's, anything for cancer and whatever you're studying. That doesn't happen, and so there has to be so much perseverance with that. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that too. Okay, my next question. What would you say is the most important thing that you learned from your black belt leadership training at Middleburg Martial Arts?
Um, I learned, and I feel like I feel like this is all kind of like coming together in a similar way, but I learned how important it is to have a community and to really have people that you can not only fall back on, but listen to, like how we kind of mentioned earlier. And like, it's so important to understand that there are so many other people out there other than yourself, and everyone thinks and works differently. And being able to know that all these different ways of life kind of exist, and learning how to make the best of that together, I feel like that's a really important takeaway from the leadership. And then just knowing that like what you're getting into is a commitment. And it's not only a commitment to yourself, but it's a commitment to your family and your community. I know you guys do so much together to really be a part of a community. And just knowing that you are able to be a part of something bigger than you.
Awesome. Okay. So my last question, and we have quite a few families on here, a lot that are in our leadership program or our master's program, are committed to Black Belt and on that path. But there are some who are considering making that commitment to Black Belt or haven't yet decided that they definitely want to make that commitment, because like you just said, it is a big commitment. So what would you tell a student or a parent who's considering making the commitment to Black Belt leadership training?
Um, I would tell them that with all commitments, there's definitely going to be challenges in any case. But just understanding that, you know, kind of like we were saying, like it's not just making yourself better, it's kind of everyone that you interact with, and then it just kind of ripples out better because it gives you the tools to really be successful in your life, and then you're able to take those tools and share them with other people and help them benefit as well. So just know that taking that leadership step, it's going to be a little scary and you're going to feel a little vulnerable at times. But just know that everyone that is there for you. And they have also been in those shoes before, and they also understand how scary that can be sometimes, getting up in front of a class and being like, okay, I'm supposed to say this at this time, or I need to, my thing was like speak louder and project, and like, you know, there's all sorts of things that people need to kind of work on. But just know that if you are a little worried or a little hesitant or anything, just know that going into a community that wants to help you be better, that wants to help you achieve everything that you possibly can. So just know that it's going to be a lot of hard work, but you have a good system that you're falling into, you know.
Yeah, thank you. That community is so important in any of your goals, having people that you can count on and support you and things like that. And just know that it's, you know, yes, it's a tough environment, but it's a nurturing environment at the same time. So good, very good. Thank you for that. And I do want to kind of add to that just a little bit too with the what he just said, making any big goal or anything like that, any kind of commitment that's big can be intimidating. And a lot of people don't. At graduating from a medical school, biomedical school, that's a big commitment. Just starting college is a big commitment, right? It's anybody, you're setting a goal and you're setting a big goal. You know it's going to be hard. You know there are going to be days where you have to commit all of your time to this one goal. And I think that achieving something like Black Belt, where it takes you about 5 years to get there, and knowing what it feels like to achieve such a big goal gives you a big head start for everywhere else in life. Because I think if you look at the people that we've had on here as guest speakers, just like Mr. Rupar, they've achieved big goals after Black Belt. And I know for me personally, achieving that first goal gives you that stepping stone of, no, I know what it's like to make a big commitment and set a goal. And I know what it feels like to work really hard and achieve that. And I know how I'm capable of doing that, and I know how rewarding it is to do that, so I can do this goal too. So I think that that's a big, you know, that sense of accomplishment you feel from achieving that first goal carries over to every other goal you set in your life. Okay, so is there anything else that you want to say to these guys that are listening now? Otherwise, if you have a couple minutes, I can open it up to some questions.
Sure, just really quick, you know, like I kind of joined the group a little bit early as you guys were going through everything. And I just want to say, like, I know how challenging it can be, especially with everything going on right now, to stay dedicated to what you're doing. And I'm so glad that I kind of jumped in just a little bit early, because I got to see everything that you guys are still working on and still accomplishing, even right now. And that is not easy. Like staying dedicated to what you made a commitment to and actually still working on it, even just a little bit every single day to make progress, that is a big accomplishment. And I'm very proud of you guys for doing that. Yeah, I mean, do you guys have any questions for anything? I can talk about a bunch of stuff, but like if you guys have any questions about anything in general, I'm happy to answer them or whatever you like.
All right. Here, oh, Mr. Caleb Ricks has a question for you. Go ahead, Caleb.
How old were you when you got your black belt?
How old was I? I think I must have been like 14 or 15, I think.
Somewhere around there.
But it took me about four to 5 years to get there. It definitely took a long amount of time, but I'm pretty sure that I was 14 or 15. I'm a little older now, so.
A little bit. All right. Miss Katie has a question.
No question, really, but it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you, like Miss Rachel said, in forever. I was actually talking to your dad when Daniel and Sarah were training. I was like, it's so cool that I actually got to train with each of you guys, and just like all three of you are so much alike, but yet so different. You all three have those leadership goals and are all super amazing martial artists, and it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too. I didn't know that you were going to be here. That's so exciting.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah.
Katie actually came back and earned her black belt. Now teaching for us and on her way to her second degree black belt. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Abby, do you have a question?
What's your definition?
Of what?
Of committing to black belt?
My definition of committing to black belt. That's a good question. So I feel like for this, it's probably different for everyone, right? Like everyone has their reasons that they want to achieve this amazing goal. For me, it was knowing that I could actually put in everything that I had and see just everything that came from that. So just knowing that I could like work very hard and accomplish something and makes like just build on that. Sorry.
That was
Yeah.
a good answer. That was a good question too, Abby. All right, Miss Mackenzie has a question. Go ahead, Mackenzie.
How old were you when you started karate?
How old was I? I think I was in 4th grade. So that makes me how old you are when you're in 4th grade.
Probably around 9 or 10.
I think 10 maybe. Yeah.
We'll go with 10.
Okay.
All right. Tommy, Wardlaw, and Benjamin have questions for you. Go ahead, guys.
You ask yours first.
No, you ask yours first.
What type of medical field are you in?
So I am studying neurodegenerative disease. So that is going to be diseases of the brain. So basically, what I focus on are people that their brain is sick, and then because of that, they start to lose the ability to move their hands, or be able to do like simple things like thinking about like like 2 + 2 or something like that, just like little things, and it's kind of like a slow thing over time. So I am trying to help find a cure for them. So I work with diseases of the brain.
Awesome.
Did someone else have a question there?
Yeah, Benjamin, do you have one? Go ahead, Benjamin.
What degree black belt are you?
I am a 1st degree.
All right. And let's see. Ezekiel has a question.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ezekiel.
How old were you when you started karate?
So Mackenzie, does someone else ask that one? And we said he was about 9 or 10.
Rachel, may I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey.
I got to jump on the other call. Jacob, it is so good to see you. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm good, and you look wonderful. What a handsome young man you've become. You really, whoa. I'm like, that's Jacob. Wow, he looks so good. And thank you for everything you said. I jumped in on the last end of it, but I really appreciate you being here, and I want you to know how proud we are of you. You've just done an amazing job, and I knew you would. I knew you would.
Thank you so much.
Good job.
You guys really like helped me to be able to make those changes in my life that I needed to make to get to where I am. So I'm very fortunate that I got to be a part of this community, and I'm very grateful that you guys asked me to come speak. That is amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for everything that you guys have done for me and for my life.
And vice versa. Thank you for being here. You're a great role model for all our kids. And I love the things you said. Very, very well thought out. So thank you for being here, and I will see you all later. Bye. I got to get on another call, but good luck to you. Pop in and see us.
Before he leaves, I have one more question. I can't get my webcam to come on, so I couldn't raise my hand.
Okay, go ahead, Braden.
So, what are the kind of I can't speak right now, but what are the kind of neurodegenerative diseases are you working towards? Because I know someone who has one.
So first of all, you nailed saying neurodegenerative. I remember when I first got up and had to start saying that in our lab meetings. I even stumbled over it sometimes. It's a lot of letters put together. So my lab is focusing on Huntington's disease. However, we do work with a group of people. We're kind of fortunate that we're in an environment where our lab is right next to a bunch of other neuro labs. So we also have labs that are working on Alzheimer's disease. What else is there? Oh my gosh, no, I'm gonna blank, of course. Wow. Our lab is focusing on Huntington's disease in particular, but then there is Alzheimer's disease in the lab next to us. There is also someone that is working on dystonia, which is just, we all kind of fall into the same category a little bit, so we all kind of work together with each other, but my lab is primarily Huntington. Oh, and Parkinson's. Parkinson's is the other one that's next to us. Sorry, it was like right there on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't remember what it was. But it's the three of us that are all together. So even though we don't necessarily work on Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, we do kind of collaborate with between our labs. We kind of share knowledge along the way as we learn different things. Because a lot of it is, even though they're all different diseases, they all tend to be kind of interconnected, and finding an answer to one of them could help provide an answer to a number of different diseases.
Okay, Miss Schuyler, you have a question? Oh, I think.
Not really a question, but you're actually, I think, 8 years old when you were in 4th grade, because some of my friends are like 9 or 10 and they're in the 6th grade.
Okay, then you are probably right then.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Jacob while we have him here? Going once, going twice. All right, well, Jacob, thank you so much for coming on here and talking with everyone. That was wonderful. We really appreciate it. Next time you are in Middleburg, you have to stop in and see us. Or next time, are you still in Orlando? Are you still living in Orlando?
Yep, in Orlando.
All right, maybe next time I'm in Orlando. We'll have to.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, as soon as all the COVID-19 stuff is up, I would love to see you guys.
Awesome.
Kamastida.
That's what I was gonna say next. Let's all unmute ourselves and say "Kamapsumnida." Thank you very much.
Kamastida.
Can you see?
All right. Thank you so much again, Jacob. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and it was really good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, Miss Rachel.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day, guys.
Bye. Miss Rachel. Bye. Bye.